What's up, everybody? It's your boy Meme here. Something funny happened. I tried recording with OBS and it was giving me an issue with my GPU, but I sort of realized I could just make a duplicate copy of my LeoThePeo profile, and in that duplicate copy, it can use my CPU encoder instead of my GPU encoder. So my CPU usage, or the usage of my CPU time, is at 78%, which is pretty crazy and not what I'm used to. My computer is kind of running pretty loud right now, and I guess that, that's the nature. However, I had started recording my last thing and it stopped I tried recording my video and it stopped recording and it was like, hey, I'm having an issue with the audio muxer. Like it's like this error. And I was like, that's strange. So I looked it up. I tried to change the sample rate for the audio from 48 kilohertz to like, yeah, 48 to 44.1 kilohertz. And I don't know what that changed. I looked at the video. Nothing seemed too different. But that seemed to fix it. Sadly, when the video had stopped recording, I was in the process of removing this 16 chocolate, so I already know it's a cupcake. So, yeah, there it is for the 16th. And then here it is for the 17th, but I actually haven't seen it yet. For the 17th, it's a reindeer. But yeah, nothing else is really happening today. I woke up this morning at 5:10, and then I got on the treadmill. I walked on the treadmill for an hour. I came upstairs. I cleaned the sink because my parents are coming home from their vacation tomorrow. And then I want the sink to be clean when they get back. And then I took a shower, and then I had a breakfast sandwich, and now I'm recording this video. Throughout this whole time, I was watching this video from this fellow, Mr. Girl. I think this guy's a crazy person. For the record, I've heard very bad things about this. Oh wow, the frame rate's super low now that I'm showing my desktop. That's crazy. Yeah, I think this is like a crazy person, but I was only watching it because Ayla was a guest on like his stream apparently, and I think Ayla does like really interesting work, and so I was interested in what she had to say, so I was like, okay, I'll watch this Mr. Girl interview. And it's interesting because I feel like, because Mr. Girl is a very strange interviewer. And I had found the whole thing very interesting. And I had also sort of appreciated the way they spoke to each other. There was a lot of explicit confirmation in what they were talking about, and like what was going on in the conversation that I'd appreciated and that I don't normally see in regular conversation. So this conversation, and again, I don't really suggest you watch this because it's like crazy. Like they talk about some crazy stuff in this video, and I don't endorse anything they talk. I just thought it was I just wanted to see the Ayla interview, but the okay, I don't endorse it because I haven't really thought about a lot of the stuff they're talking about. But anyway, I had found from what I've listened so far of the conversation, I found the conversation like very sort of tantalizing and interesting because they speak in like a very sort of explicit way that I really enjoy. And what I mean when I say like explicit confirmation is I feel like when a lot of people are talking, they're playing these sort of like weird games and they're like doing all of these implicit actions that are like very weird and confusing broadly. Like an immediate example I can think of was on Sunday when I was hanging out with my sister, we had to go to the store, and so on the way, and we had to bring our baby with her, so we were pushing him on the stroller and such, and so I was carrying my water bottle, and on the way back I was carrying the bag of stuff that we had gotten from the store, or my sister was carrying those things and I was pushing the stroller, right? So pretty often we would switch between me pushing the stroller and my sister pushing the stroller, and on the way back, a majority of the time had been spent with me pushing the stroller, which, whoa, the encoding, it looks like it's slowing down. Anyway, most of the time on the way back was spent with me pushing the stroller, and when we were nearing my sister's apartment, I had said to her, I think it might be wise if like next time, one of us pushes the stroller one way and the other one pushes the stroller like on the way back. But then she like took the stroller from me, and then she said, "Leo, you could just say when you want me to push the stroller." And I thought to myself, when did I ever say this? When did I imply this? I never said anything of the sort. I just suggested, like, hey, next time we're going to a place, we should set it up this way. Like, I think that would be an easier way to, like, do it instead of, like, randomly switching who's pushing the stroller. But she had interpreted me stating that as a suggestion for her to push the stroller. And not only that, a sort of implicit suggestion where I was, like, using my suggestion as a proxy for, like, this other suggestion. And I have no idea why she ever had this idea. But this sort of thing does happen a lot. Like, people are under the impression that I'm, like, giving them hidden messages in my words, when that's not what's happening. And so, you know, what I really appreciated in this interview is, like, pretty explicitly, like, I don't remember the exact words, but, you know, Mr. Girl was talking about how, like, how he disliked his mother and how his mother put him onto smoked salmon, and how despite that, he still has smoked salmon on his birthday. And he talks about how a lot of people, you know, when they don't like their parents, they try to be like the exact opposite of their parents. But he actually finds it, you know, he finds a lot more sort of mental fortitude in, like, you know, recognizing the parts that you got from your parents and sort of coming to terms with them sort of being sort of with you in that way, even if you didn't enjoy the way they raised you, right? And then Ayla said something like, "That's cool," right? And then, or maybe it was the other way around. No, Mr. Girl was the one talking about smoked salmon, and you know, Ayla was like, "That's cool." And then Mr. Girl said, "Are you mad at me?" And then she said, "No. Why did you think I was mad at you?" And then he said, "The way you said that's cool." And she was like, "No, I'm not mad at you. Do you want me to tell you when I'm mad at you?" And then he was like, "Yes." And it's like, oh my god, I wish I could talk like this to everyone, because it's like, like I'm not like, you know, I just wish people didn't like hide information in their speech. It's so crazy, and it's only really something I've been enlightened to like pretty recently, like in the past, like, I guess not recently, but like within the past like 5 years or so. It's just been like, you know, I didn't realize just how many layers down people like think about conversation with other people with. Because to me, I'm just sort of communicating information, you know, but to other people, it's like you're playing a sort of weird like mind game, and it's crazy. So, you know, and conversations with Ayla actually tend to do this a lot. You know, she sort of, you know, asks for like explicit confirmation in like what things mean when people say them. And I just think that's a really inspiring and cool, because it's like, wow, this person is so smart, and you know, she does a lot of really good research, and it's like, you know, I just think it's really neat. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I had a sausage sandwich this morning and a banana and a glass of milk, and now I'm having some coffee, which I put into this tumbler, which is pretty unusual for me. I've sort of been like pilled on metal containers. I've always drank water out of this big water bottle, this 40-ounce water bottle, because I don't have to refill it as much. And I always drank coffee out of a ceramic mug. But you know, I found this tumbler in this cabinet of ours. It has the company I work for on the back of it. It's like company merch, so I don't know. There's a reason I'm showing it to you to the specific angle, but you know, I was thinking about like, man, you know, I want to be able to drink this coffee immediately after I brew it, right? And I believe at around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, liquids burn your mouth, right? So it's like, I wonder if I could just brew my coffee at 140 degrees Fahrenheit and then drink it, but I looked it up. Apparently that messes with the flavor. So I really did have to like brew it at 200 degrees, which sucked. And I was thinking to myself, well, I looked it up. You know, I discovered I could probably put something in the freezer, but if I were to like to put the coffee container in the freezer, that I'm going to be putting the coffee into, and then when I pour the coffee, it should cool the coffee down at a faster rate than if it was a room temperature container. But I was thinking to myself, like, wouldn't that just like break the ceramic? Like, isn't that a thing where like if there's a vast temperature difference between a container and like stuff you put in the container, doesn't it break the container? So I decided to do a metal cup, and it actually kind of worked. I put an ice cube in here, and you know, it's still steaming, but it's you know, I think a lot cooler than it would have been if I had just put it into a room temperature ceramic mug. So yeah. Okay, bye, you freaks. I hope the encoding wasn't too bad, or the frame rate wasn't too bad at all.